Hello, ghost hunters. It's about to feel a lot colder in Phasmophobia. Let's talk about the latest sneak peek at the progression update coming soon. In my last video about the coming update, I told you not to expect an update before June, and it looks like the devs agreed with that as the newly released roadmap shows July. I know for a lot of us, this feels very disappointing, but I know devs are working hard to make sure that this major update meets the expectations of players, so hang in there for just a little bit longer. And in the meantime, let's take a look at some of the things we know are coming in the next major update, in July. What we know based on the roadmap is that the next major update will include the level wipe with the new leveling system. This means players will work toward more meaningful and rewarding points, rather than just increasing their player level to infinity. We also know that all equipment will have 3 levels or tiers of gear: the basic level, the mid-ground, where we sort of are now, and the more advanced gear at tier 3. We also know that how evidence works in the game now is getting an overhaul to make gathering evidence more involved and interesting for players. More on that in a minute. But we also have this redacted item here, which if I had to guess, would likely be the new map we've been speculating on for some time now. Because the new roadmap divides the progression update into 3 parts, we also can speculate on what updates we will be seeing for the remainder of this year. I would guess that sometime around Halloween, we can expect to get new tasks, new optional objectives, adjustments to photos, video evidence, new equipment, and something else also redacted. Hopefully this isn't the new map, and we get it sooner than later. But this does tell us that we'll be getting new equipment, which sounds exciting. Their sound recorder could definitely add some creepy to the game, especially if it's anything like the sound recorder in Ghost Exile. Are you here?
Are you here? Are you here? Are you here?
And likely very late in the year, we can expect new player models and animations, changes with CCTV, and player customizations. Unfortunately, we also know that the new ghost models, hallucinations, ghost event changes, ghost interactions, new locations, new equipment, and whatever else won't be coming till next year in the Horror 2.0 update. This is a fairly big pushback for this update, and while players may be disappointed in this big delay, just know that devs are working to make sure that they can bring Phasmophobia to a new height of scary, so please be patient. So let's talk about those freezing temperatures. I have mixed feelings on this change, so I'd love to hear how all of you feel about this in the comments. I always read your comments, so let me know what you think about this coming change. A few things developers wanted to adjust with freezing temperatures included that temperatures were not synced across all player games. One player could see freezing temps while another would not. Also, the thermometer became a useless tool, something that I've been saying for a long time, as this was visually identifiable without using a tool. And lastly, finding freezing temperatures was completely passive and involved no gameplay. In other words, it's something that just happened over time and required nothing from players for this to occur. So the first major change was to when the freezing breath shows up. This will happen before freezing temperatures appear, between 5 and 7 degrees Celsius. As an example, devs pointed out that in locations where it is snowing and the fuse box is broken, you will have cold breath instantly, everywhere, even in the truck. They also said that in houses where the power is on and it's nice and toasty inside, that freezing breath will only appear in areas where the ghost has been long enough to drop the temperature. So a couple of thoughts on this. It sounds like it may be easier to track your ghost movements with the freezing breath with this change. That sounds great. It also sounds like most, if not all of your hunts, are going to have freezing breath. Because of these changes, thermometers will be included in starter equipment, and you'll get one for free on every hunt. But you will now have to use this item to identify those freezing temperatures, and it sounds like there will be less fluctuation on those readouts. So let's talk about the different tiers of thermometers. At Tier 1, you get this ancient piece of equipment that your grandparents, or maybe even great-grandparents, used way back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. This thermometer works slowly, and you'll have to wait a while for it to adjust to the room to give you a real reading. So this is similar to our ghostwriting book now, bring it in, and leave it to check later. At Tier 2, you'll get the current thermometer, but with some adjustments. For this item to give you a reading, you'll now have to hold your use button to scan for temperatures. And because you know it's giving you a reading for the current room you are in, it will also be much more accurate than our current thermometer. At Tier 3, you'll get this item that is much more accurate and quick to read the temperatures of a room. Okay, so I'd love to hear how everyone feels about the updated roadmap and the changes to the thermometer. I agree that the current thermometer is useless and needed a rework, but I'm not sure how I feel about freezing breath happening so much more frequently. And admittedly, I feel like the Tier 1 thermometer is probably not something I would intentionally buy. While the Tier 3 might be faster than the Tier 2, I feel that fiscally, Tier 2 just makes much more sense. Also, I certainly hope that Progression 1 includes the new map instead of Progression 2 or the new locations listed in 2024. No new maps for 2023 sounds like a real bummer, and I'd guess many, if not all of you, feel the same way. I know at least one map is in the works, and devs have said that they will release when they are ready, and not necessarily with any certain update. So hopefully we'll be seeing a new map sooner rather than later. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, remember to like and subscribe, and as always, happy hunting!